Michigan kicked off spring football on February 20th, heading into an offseason that hopes to keep championship habits and momentum rolling. For the Wolverines, that might start at the quarterback position. In the modern landscape of college football, titles are won and lost based on quarterback play. Michigan has been blessed with winning football over the last 2 seasons, with Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy starting in 2021 and 2022 respectively. With the title contention window still very much open, the position will once again make or break the Wolverines. The quarterback room also has new leadership in the form of Kirk Campbell. He replaces Matt Weiss in the role, overseeing the position. Campbell comes into a full-time position at an interesting time, too. He's got an established starter with as high a ceiling as any player on the roster. Here are our 3 biggest storylines to lock into at quarterback leading up to the spring game on April 1st. Number 1, J.J. McCarthy's unquestioned status as Michigan's top quarterback. Michigan enters the offseason with an incumbent starter taking all of the first-team reps. This is a huge juxtaposition from last offseason for McCarthy, who did not throw for most of the offseason while rehabbing a shoulder issue. Michigan will still have him on a spring pitch count, but repetitions are critical for his development and for the chemistry that he develops with the wide receivers. The one thing we should not be shy about with McCarthy is his potential as his game expands. He has a first-round NFL skill set and as live an arm as any Michigan quarterback in recent memory. McCarthy throws a pretty accurate ball in the short and intermediate areas. If he and the Wolverines can dial in the deep balls that should have been layups last season, a McCarthy leap is definitely on the table. Michigan's furious Fiesta Bowl comeback was frustrating in a lot of ways, but it also provided a silver lining. The Wolverines, for the first time all season, completely unleashed McCarthy's dual-threat toolbox. That included making more use of his mobility in the QB run game. Michigan has Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards returning at running back and an elite offensive line, so the recipe and the nucleus for what this offense could look like probably does not change all that much. But the knowledge that McCarthy can shoulder more of the load makes this offense all the more dangerous. Michigan fans will want to be greedy and see McCarthy in Ann Arbor for 4 seasons. We get that. But if the Wolverines can tap into more of McCarthy's talents, it's not a stretch to think that he could be in the 2024 NFL Draft conversation, obviously right now behind USC's Caleb Williams and North Carolina's Drake May, who are pretty much the consensus top 2 guys in that class. Number 2, is Davis Warren ready for quarterback 2 reps? Michigan put junior Davis Warren on scholarship and appears ready to have him be McCarthy's primary backup, as he was in 2022 after McNamara's injury. His story has already made him a bit of a folk hero after battling cancer in high school and then having his senior season canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That made him a bit of a diamond in the rough find for Michigan. There's a comfort level that if he was inserted into a game, he could handle a lot of the things McCarthy is asked to do. But, as is usually the case at Michigan, competition will ensue. The Wolverines brought in former Indiana quarterback Jack Tuttle to raise the floor on the depth chart, filling the role vacated by Alan Bowman's transfer to Oklahoma State. Should Warren get injured or not live up to the billing, Michigan has a guy built in with Tuttle who has already played a lot of Big Ten football. Now, typically Michigan's backup situation has featured someone who, if called into action in an emergency, had future starting potential for this team down the line. We do not know if he's currently on the roster. QB2 is a critical spot in 2023, but one you hope is never called upon. Number 3, what exactly is Alex Orji? A picture on social media made the rounds from winter conditioning, making the sophomore quarterback look like the Thing from the Fantastic Four comic books. Alex Orji stands at 6'3", 235 pounds, and looks more like a linebacker than he does a quarterback. Where he winds up going long-term is anyone's guess, but he is yet another gift from the football gods that Jim Harbaugh will find an application for. Orji puts plenty of mustard on balls that come off his fingertips, so seeing how he can develop as a passer is certainly worth researching in the lab. There could be a scenario in play where we see him as a gadget player in the red zone or a factor in the QB run game. Perhaps a switch to the other side of the ball is possible, a la Michael Barrett. We'll see what happens. I think anything is in play with him right now. But wherever Orji winds up, he is a quintessential quote-unquote football player first. Position be damned. The storyline probably isn't going to make anyone's top 10 list heading into the spring, but the experiment and where he winds up is intriguing as heck. Thank you so much for watching. For more videos from the Wolverine, whether it be football, basketball, recruiting, live shows, and more, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for the latest.